Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from the Moose on the Loose. I hope you are doing well on this Thursday. After 2 days of kind of like bad news, so Waste Connection not really performing up to par, MSTE cutting their distribution by 20%. I mean 18. Today we're going to talk about some positive news. A stock that is up on earnings day by like 30%. Year to date, about 50% up. Yeah, 50, like 50, kind of crazy, right? So it's Hammond Power, HPS.A.TO, a small cap, about market capitalization about like 2.2 billions. That is specialized, very niche product. So they're making dry type electric transformers. What's the point here? Well, those dry type transformers are used by industrials, renewables, utilities, and data centers. So you can see the boom here, pretty much around like renewable, utilities, data centers. It's all around the AI boom, and HPS is literally selling those shovels in the gold rush. They're making a ton of money, but it is a rocky road. And I have to tell you that before we go into why in the world the stock jumped that much last week. So that was on October 23rd. So the playbook for Hammond Power is quite simple. I mean, they have been doing those dry type performers for like 100 years. They're super specialized. They're high quality. So when you're thinking about being super stable, being reliable, sustainable, well, you need those type of transformers to support your data centers that cannot fail. They cannot stop calculating, providing cloud services, providing AI services. So they need top-notch quality, and Hammond Power is right there. So their goal here is simply to expand. That's what they've been doing in the US, in Mexico. It's actually where most of the growth is coming, because the business is doing is selling their products in Canada, in US, Mexico, and then India. Just to give you an idea of the latest quarter, US and Mexico sales were up 21.5%. Year to date, it's up 15.9%. So double-digit growth in US and Mexico. In Canada, it was actually down by 2.9%, and year to date, it's up 2.9%. So pretty much flat. And then in India, they were flat last quarter, and then since the beginning of the year, down by 9.5%. So the entire growth is the US and Mexico market. The entire thesis is around the big AI boom. So once again, before we go further, that's not financial advice. It is a small cap. It's high volatile. The last time I highlighted this one, I think right after we had the comments on like the appearance of like DeepSeek, which was a language model made in China that was requesting less power, so therefore less demand for this type of electric transformers. Ironically, I don't know what happened with this one, because I mean, the world of AI is moving so fast, but it's kind of like we're not talking about it anymore. So the AI train started again, but during this brief moment, Hammond Power fell like a rock. So right now, it could be quite a dangerous time to enter into a new position, even though it's really exciting. When I see a stock that goes up by that much, I mean, yes, there's a lot of potential. We're going to continue to review the quarter. But anyways, I just want to highlight it is risky. I don't have it in my portfolio. I should have years ago, because I've been talking about Hammond Power for several years at BSR members. So I know you guys followed that hint and dig further. And some of you, like Joe, that just sent me an email saying, hey, if you ever come by, drinks and food is on me, because definitely you made my life a lot easier. But anyways, thank you, Joe, for that comments. But yeah, I mean, it's up to you. Kudos to you. You did your due diligence, and it worked out. So what really happened during this quarter? So overall, good quarter, as I said. Most of the growth was coming from the US and Mexico. Overall, sales growth was up 14%. Earnings per share was up 7%. So that was good, but I mean, it was not Crazy, right? And when you see this, you see like double-digit revenue growth, but you see earnings per share that is pretty much half of it. You have to ask yourself that question, like, what happened? How come the revenue is growing a lot faster than the profit? And then you have to dig in. You have to ask that question. But here's the thing: a lot of inflation around material costs. Of course, if there's a boom, there's high demand. If there's high demand, everyone is in a rush to build and to make that into production. So when everyone does that, what happens? Price goes up. So a lot of inflation, a lot of overhead cost. They have created a new facility in Mexico to be able to support the growth, but that comes with a lot of construction costs as well. So that has pressured the margin. So nothing to worry about too much here. Actually, I kind of like the fact that it's been about 12 months that Hammond Power is investing into its production abilities, just to make sure that they can keep up with demand. Because when you have like this kind of surge, it's super exciting, it's super interesting, but you need to be able to catch the train when it comes, right? So now they're able to supply the demand. Later on the road, it could come to another problem when you think about the fact that they're maybe like building too much capacity, but right now we're definitely not there. And the biggest sign that I see here is the backlog. The backlog for next year went up by 27%. So 27%, most of that will be delivered in 2026. And they are, since there's a high demand, they're not really affected by tariffs either, because they can just say, you know what? It costs more, so you're going to pay the price, and there you go. So Hammond Power is very confident that they're going to continue to generate a lot more cash flow. Their goal is to reach $1 billion in revenue for 2025, and they're pretty much on pace to reach that level, probably going to grow even faster in 2026. And this is why the stock price jumped. There was a lot of concerns before that, and now they're just like, yeah, they're actually delivering. They have a lot of backlogs, so it's going to continue. The narrative is sexy today, but it's going to continue tomorrow, and this what drive the stock price higher. Now, should you get into a position like this when the stock is skyrocketing and it's a small cap? Again, be careful. But on the other side, I mean, a lot of people bought it a year ago and they're up more than 50%. So it's hard to not suffer from FOMO, right? Fear of missing out when you see those kind of stock. And I don't have it in my portfolio, and I kick myself for that, to be honest, because I identified this one a very long time ago, kept following it, didn't have like space in my room in my portfolio to add it. I did some great moves on the side, but not this one. And today I'm looking at the company. The forward P ratio is not disgusting. Let's put it that way. I mean, if it continues to bring double-digit growth, probably it's going to continue to trade at such a high valuation, close to like 30 times earnings. Yes, it's a lot, but if you're bringing in double-digit revenue and earnings growth, not the end of the world either. There's still a lot of room for growth at this point, because the only thing that we hear in the news is that we're building more and more and more, and then we need more energy. So that means more utility services, more renewable energy, more data center. But on the other side, this madness will eventually stop. And remember what happened at the beginning of the internet. And of course, the thesis was the internet's going to change the world and it's going to make us more efficient and so on. And that was all true. But the pioneers of internet that spent billions in building the infrastructure definitely went overboard. They definitely spent way too much, and that was not profitable. So right now we're in this fairy tale that everything's going to be all right. I always like to see this with like a step like behind. Like I just want to like take a pause and say, you know what? If I would enter into a stock like Hammond Power, what I would do is I would first treat it as a speculative play in my portfolio. So allowing like play money to invest in that kind of stock. be super happy if it doubles in value, but I mean, wouldn't be surprised if I lose half of my investment in this kind of the stock. So you have to weight this level of risk, not just be blinded by all the great potential. It's always fun to think about the potential, a little bit less fun to think about the risk. So this is where I stand for Hammond Power. I'm still tempted to add it to my portfolio, but again, it would be just a smaller position than usual. It would be just a speculative play and for a short-term period only. That's are my thoughts right now. Not sure I'm going to pull the trigger yet. Still pondering the pros and cons on this one. So anyways, I missed a big part of the boat. Doesn't mean that the boat is not going to go further. So we'll see how it goes. If you want to find more great stock like this one, you can use the Rockstar list. You can download it at dividendstocksrock.com/rockstar. Super easy, dividendstocksrock.com/rockstar. You're going to get the list every single month. If you are a DSR member, it's already part of your stock filters. So there's a views that is being saved for you there. You can add it, then you can modify it to your liking, adding more financial metrics, refining the filters, and selecting stocks just based on what you really want to look for. But if you want the free list, again, dividendstocksrock.com/rockstar. All right, Moose, that's enough for today. We're going to talk again tomorrow. Until then, don't forget to stay invested.